Hola Galeras. We're a little early, but I figured why not? You know? What's the harm? I've got some nice stuff going on today. Uh, I found this recipe online that was, uh, it's like a patatas bravas, which is potatoes and garlic. Uh, so it's patatas bravas con rosemary. So it's potatoes, like grilled potatoes, garlic, seasoning, and with a lot of rosemary. And I really like rosemary. My one of my best friends in the whole world got me into rosemary years ago, and so I've been deeply into that. Of course, we got our Chiquita banana in true form. Producer Tom is right here. He's just chilling out. He's a sweet boy. And some pickles, because I love pickles, and a nice iced coffee. This one is a combination of like oat milk from ciabatta. Let me see what else. It's this coffee from Equal Exchange called, it's called like Night Sky or something in nature, but it's got like a rich kind of chocolatey flavor to it. Very good, very, very good. Yeah, so let's eat, you know? I have had an interesting week. Oh, I'm sorry. And there's veggie chorizo in this also. I put it together. Like I said, I made my own. With a side of ketchup, because I like ketchup. Really good, actually. Get these patatas bravas real quick. Mmm. Conejillo. Cat. How's it going? So I made patatas bravas with con rosemary y veggie chorizo. I figured I'd go crazy this week. It looks like this. There's pickles with rosemary. On a rosemary pickle. One of my best friends in the whole world, Carlos Bustamante, said he used to grow wild rosemary in these apartments that we used to all live in. And I wasn't a big fan of rosemary at first. He told me about it. And then he's like, hey, he'd give me these like handfuls of rosemary. And I just slowly kind of fell in love with it. I know they're not for everybody. But it tastes really good. How are you? How are things going? And a banana, of course. And a nice coffee for survival. And for those who ask, yes, that is moonshine. The plants are outside. It's a beautiful day. It's warm. It's sunny. It's not too hot. So I decided to let them just kind of be outside and grow. Suck up that natural sunlight. Unobscured by the windows. So, for those who don't know, I did 2 shows this weekend. I had the Painter's Radio, which is my radio show I do, where I play lots of music. And then I had my live painting show. These are both on YouTube. Of course, naturally, Painter's Radio, copyright striked immediately because I'm playing all this music that I don't own the rights to. But I just wanted to share it because like it's on the AMP app, but not everybody uses it. So I wanted people to see what it was like. So that was nice. It was nice to just show people. I knew it wasn't going to stay on long though. Thankfully, it was just blocked. It was not. I didn't get like a huge copyright strike on my channel. But you know, you take chances sometimes. I'm doing well. I had a pretty nice weekend actually. My mom was in town, till about Wednesday or Thursday, and so we hung out. It was nice. We did some cool stuff. I got some shoes. We went and just looked at stuff. We watched fireworks. The guy who played Carlton on The Fresh Prince hosted some like not New Year's, 4th of July festival type of thing. It's not really my thing. The Americana stuff's not really my thing. I gotta be honest, but it was beautiful. I've been watching the Conca Cup. Panama, I think, is gonna go all the way. I know like U.S., Jamaica, and Mexico are the final four. We will see how that goes. My money is Panama, though. Of course, like some random like white guy decided to tell me, he's like, Panama wouldn't have existed if it wasn't for the U.S. because in 1906 they separated it from Colombia. I'm like, okay, cool, thanks, guy, appreciate it. So really, it's like the U.S. wins twice, and I'm like, no, that's not what it's like. If the U.S. wins, the U.S. wins. It's not satellites. It's not Guam or America Samoa. That's not really how this works. It's not the canal. They're not playing against the canal. They're playing against Panama Central. My people. But yeah, I worked on a bunch of art. Painted a couple of pages in my sketchbook. Did that live. That was interesting. I don't think I've done that in a long time. Where I just kind of just made art and didn't think about it. Played a little reggae lo-fi, non-copyrighted while I was doing it. I think the hard part that a lot of people don't get about making art is to stop and try and get camera angles and come up with commentary is very like disorienting sometimes. I think people forget that, or they just don't know. They have this idea in their minds. Here we go. Nope, that's not happening either. They have this idea in their minds. There we go. That all the artwork and all the marketing and all this stuff are like very like, it just comes real easy. That is not practiced. Keep moving this. That is not practiced. But it's very much like a cultivated thing. Like you have to kind of work at it. I also think people think we make money off of it, which like, I know there are people that make money off of it. Most of us don't make money off of it. And in that, it rolls into my anti-capitalista thing that I was saying last week. That like, we make art and we make products and we make all these things. Don't get me wrong, I mean, if I make money off of it, that's fine. But I definitely don't do it only because I'm making money off of it. I think the creative process is a little stunted sometimes when you're just trying to figure out, if I do this, it's got to sell. Because then you don't end up making very much. Or you only make stuff for that. And I think of like all these artists that I really enjoy, and I've enjoyed for decades. And like as time has gone by, they've pulled back. The revenue streams have kind of come, but it's not only based on that anymore. Now they do things more for their enjoyment. They still do stuff and make money, but it's that whole concept of you can be anti-capitalist and still live in a capitalist society. Like where you live is where you live. You have no choice over that for the most part. But you can still try to like enjoy what you do. It doesn't all have to be based on like e-commerce and stuff like that. Like, it's that concept that people are like, oh, well, if you can do it and you're good at it, you should try and make money at it. And it's like, well, I mean, if you want to, but you don't have to. There was this, still to this day, there's like these people who are trying to argue with me about, oh, you're living in this fantasy where, like, everything's not based on money. And I'm like, but everything isn't, though. I mean, you're on Instagram, you're on Facebook, you're on all these YouTube, you're on all these things. And, like, are you currently making money doing that? No. Would you like to? Possibly. But are you making money? No. Then it's not really, it's, you're doing it because you like doing it. Or you see potential in it or whatever. But it's not, if I don't make money at it, I'm not going to do it type of thing. And I keep harping on this because I feel like there's a lot of young artists who have this idea that, like, if it's not profitable, it's a waste of time. I just think that's like a dangerous mindset to hold on to. Because as you get older, you start to realize, like, you just like to do things for yourself sometimes that are for yourself. Like, I contemplate with these shows, like, making shirts and stickers and all this stuff to kind of support it and get people involved and etc. And I may do those things. But I don't feel like I have to do them in order to, if I'm not doing them, I'm wasting my time. It goes back to that whole sign somebody held up that said, everybody's an artist until the rent is due. Which I just don't feel is what the true spirit of what art is, Like, there's so much famous art that was never sold while someone was alive. There's a difference between, like, being in a capitalist society versus being an actual, like, quote unquote capitalist. Where you live where you live. But that doesn't mean one way or the other who you are. It's just such kind of like an interesting like beautiful thing. Where the art we make is so personal that it just, I don't know, it doesn't always come with a price tag. I've lived in my life where long enough I can see the things I did or I wanted to do that were just supposed to be, like, good for me. Like, health is not necessarily a profitable thing. You could argue that it leaves you the ability to live longer and possibly have better opportunities, but, like, there are a lot of people who, like, they live, but they don't live off of that dollar, They're not, there's just got to be more. There's got to be more to it. Because the concept of, like, if you're not making money, you're a failure is insane. Like, that's someone who has a very depressing mentality, I would say. Because we all know somebody who just does stuff, they're good at it, but they don't enjoy it. And that energy could be used to do something that they actually want to do, that they might even be even more successful with, because they're actually passionate. When I was a teen, they used to tell us we all need to go into, like, IT. We all need to be IT specialists. And that career kind of snowballed for a little bit. When I was in my 20s, but then those people had to go get regular jobs because it just didn't pan out. They weren't passionate about it. The field wasn't really amazing. See? God gets it. I definitely don't make art to make money. It keeps me sane, honestly. Being able to make art for me is, it's a part of my DNA. It's a part of who I am. It's a part of the passion that I feel when I'm feeling it late at night and I need to get it out of my system. I think of like all of these patterns and paintings and textures and there's theories and thought processes, and they are based on the very simple aspect of it's my passion. I enjoy it. I am not required to make any type of way and any type of thing. I guess that's kind of the thing also. Like, if they sell, they sell, and I'm great with that. But, you know, if they don't, I'm okay with that too. I got a whole studio art that, you know, I've never sold. But I still love it. If anything, I don't think about the art that's gone. When it's gone, it's gone. When I go to people's houses and I go to like areas and stuff where stuff is hanging up, I'm reminded of those things. There's this restaurant that just opened up that has a brewery that I designed a bunch of art for. So that is up now. I have to go to that at some point. But it's very out of sight, out of mind type of situation. I don't know. I guess I'm just trying to save the heartbreak for like these young artists who believe their worth is based on how much money they've made. Like if we were to compare ourselves to the great artists of time, we are wildly more successful than they were in their lives. Postmortem, I mean, there's a machine behind that. But individually, a lot of these artists couldn't pull a dime when they were alive. Society's weird like that. Sometimes they don't give credit to artists until we're gone. So you better enjoy it. We are based on so many things that we have to do to survive that I don't think you have to necessarily monetize your passions, because like you have to do other things to survive. Maybe I'm a dreamer, maybe I'm silly, but I think the pursuance of happiness is more important. Just me, just a painter, saying what I say. Okay. Well, salud. Saluji. I'm going to head off into the studio and paint. I will see you later. Painter out. Ciao. Bye. Adios, Galeras. Ciao. Yeah, hit the button.